Alright, welcome back to yet another video on moments in the rail industry for April 2025. A little bit of an interesting month featuring many different things, and no, I will not be talking about Amtrak en masse this time, but with that, let's get into the video. Starting off with, well, Northstar. Northstar is essentially leasing out part of its equipment to other railroads, Amtrak and TRE/DART. Amtrak will be getting one locomotive, two coaches, and one cab car. DART/TRE will be getting one locomotive, three coaches, and two cab cars. This is because Metro Transit only needs, well, pretty much two sets to run, as they are now only running two round trips, and a spare set and a spare locomotive and a spare coach. Which sucks because originally they were running four, but due to the decline of Northstar and a potential inevitability of Northstar shutting down entirely, leasing out equipment is pretty much going to be a common thing now. The last remaining Atlantic Coastline signal bridge in Smithfield, North Carolina, is apparently scheduled for cutover on May 1st, 2025, so pretty much while you're watching this video, it has probably already been cut over. Which sucks. It's similar to what happened with the Canadian Pacific North Toronto sub, cutting over a bunch of the old signals and signal bridges and signal gantries that a lot of rail fans used to love. Unlike that, Canadian Pacific probably still has a bunch of these around their network, but for CSX, or at least the Atlantic Coastline stuff, this is the last one and it is likely to be gone within, well, some time. GO Transit Cab Car 253 has been repainted. Unlike the refurbished cab cars of 249 and 214 and all the other ones, this one seems to have kept its lights, so it's just a repaint. Everything else is essentially still the same. But I must mention that this cab car is one of the 7 original remaining old cab cars that ran by themselves when the CEMs were pretty much prevalent before the refurbishments of the other cab cars. So to see this cab car be repainted probably sparks the end of the old scheme in terms of old cab cars that are still running. These cab cars are apparently scheduled to be refurbished sometime in the next few years, so possibly repainting them is possibly, hinting at something like that. Ontario Northland's venture coaches are apparently currently being worked on. This is great that, well, the Northlander is going to be making a return with new equipment. I really want to see the Northlander. I don't think I ever got a chance to. Even though it won't have the same equipment, it's still cool to see Ontario Northland stuff. Aside from my aspirations, it seems like the project is moving forward with, I hope, no delays. Amtrak is apparently auctioning stuff off. Some things that they're auctioning off, or I guess selling off, is 2 Amfleet coaches, 2 Superliner coaches, 1 Horizon coach, 1 cab baggage or cabbage or NPCU, 5 material handling cars, and apparently 2 Turboliner sets sold in sets of 5. Which is interesting because I thought those were pretty much dead, and so did the person who made this. And apparently, the NPCU is 90208, the veterans unit that was part of an accident which basically shanked its nose. Hey, did you know I had a merch store? Totally, like it wasn't there all this time. Anyways, yeah, I have a merch store. Pretty much my main thing is stickers and I guess clothing, if anyone considers that. But yeah, you can get stickers legitimately based off my own characters that I draw. And of course my main channel logo. If you'd like any of this, it's in the description. Union Pacific's 1616 locomotive has officially been revealed. In spite of the fact that it has been confirmed to be this particular EMD, I'm still a little bit surprised considering the fact that, well, this is an SD70M, and these things apparently are not going to last, and I'm saying that with a question mark, because apparently they're going to be pulled in the next, well, while. A while could be a long time, but who knows. Still, a little bit of a surprise. But in terms of this unit and the paint scheme and all that, it looks pretty good, honestly. EXO is apparently getting a venture coach. This is a surprise as they never highlighted getting venture coaches. They only highlighted getting charger locomotives, which they did, their first unit being 1400. It is currently sitting in Montreal. did they change their mind and are probably going to be testing venture coaches for something? Because, well, that could only mean retiring the existing coaches, or, well, some of the existing coaches that they have. I'm theorizing it could be the comet cars that they have. Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad apparently had a bridge fire and are saying that it was man-made or, arson. They are currently going to be putting funding towards rebuilding this bridge and are hoping someone out there knows whoever this is, and, of course they're starting an investigation, so they pretty much need all the info they can get. So if you know whoever did this, I don't think my viewers really know, but again, could be a chance. If you know, then reach out to them. SEPTA is proposing on cutting back on a lot of routes due to funding issues. From the map alone, I could already say this is bad because that's a lot of red. But anyways, this does not look good at all. That is tremendously bad. Hopefully this gets resolved soon because, well, this can affect a lot of people in the Philadelphia area. The IRM apparently had a mechanical issue with Frisco 1630. They were preparing it for 2025 operations until they found this, and unfortunately they made the decision to remove the engine and begin work on the mandated 1472-day inspection earlier than anticipated. That sucks for any IRM enjoyers. NJ Transit released a contingency plan for a possible rail strike. They're suggesting people who work from home to, well, work from home and limit travel on rail systems. The agency is also including regional park and ride operations at 4 locations beginning on Monday, May 19th, and increase peak bus service on 18 routes in proximity to rail stations. This does help, however, they're only saying that they could accommodate 20% of rail customers if the strike comes on May 15th. The agency is saying that they will also focus on New York-bound customers, giving them the priority to connect to PATH rail services. And lastly, they're of course working with the union to negotiate a deal. Amtrak Gulf Coast trains to be known as the Mardi Gras service. Operations are set to begin this summer, however there is no date provided. The Gulf Coast is apparently getting back some form of a Gulf Coast service. However, this line will not be going all the way to Florida. It will begin in New Orleans and go all the way to Mobile, Alabama. This is the Mardi Gras service. Sure, it is a return, but of course, as said before, it will not be going to Florida, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it is a good thing that service is returning on the Gulf Coast in general. Via Rail's Canadian service turned 70 years old on April 23rd. Yeah, 70 years old. Doing the math, that dates back to 1955, 10 years after the war. Post-war service. Yeah, very, very interesting indeed that it has stayed this way for 70 years, and likely even longer. Amtrak's HHP-8s, now rechristened as HHP-Cs, are running as a crew qualification train during April, and are soon to be running on services. The whole reason of the return of these units is to bolster the retirement of the Metroliner cab cars, which are legitimately older than Amtrak itself. To end this video off, we have yet another signal replacement. An ex-B&M signal is getting replaced, or should I say, already replaced by a modern Vader signal. Apparently, to my knowledge, this was a very popular spot for rail fans, and it seems like they are grieving over this searchlight signal getting replaced. It seems like April is the month that things get replaced because we had the Canadian Pacific North Toronto sub have its searchlights replaced in April of last year. We had literally just before in the beginning of this video an ACL signal bridge getting replaced, and well, this is also getting replaced now. Well, that's another signal down. Well, that will pretty much do it for April of 2025. If you enjoyed this video, then probably share it with somebody that you know. Alright, that will pretty much do it for me. Thank you to the members, and I'll see you in May. I mean, May 30... June!